All right. Welcome back, my fellow agents. It is I, X7, your host of Zenorama, the podcast of heroes and monsters. And today is our final episode about Jinzo Ningen Kikaida. It is episode 747, and we are approximately, I don't even remember how many. Well, before we get too much further into these final four episodes, which are fantastic, uh, we are at 945 subscribers, so we only have 55 more to 1,000. We should be able to do that before we get to episode 1,000. I really appreciate all of you. And if you could, just like, share, subscribe, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about this. It is the final four episodes where we find out what happens to the Komyoji family and their buddy Jiro and Hanpen. Well, we don't really find out what happens to Hanpen. But be that as it may, if you could watch just a little longer than usual, that'd be great. It would be great. And thanks, Clipchamp. But as of tomorrow, I'll have a new computer because the Hokkaido shot ricocheted off of Jiro's arm and hit my screen yesterday. So I'm needing to get a new one. But let's switch on for the final four episodes of Kikaida. We do start with episode 40 here. Jiro in peril. All functions have stopped, and there's a reason for that. So this young man who looks surprisingly like a Japanese Herbie Popnecker, the most powerful one that is, but he does not have a lollipop that he could have used to bop those there Destructoids. And if anyone knows who Herbie Popnecker is, please let me know in the comments. But somehow Hanpen has a mustache, a pencil-thin mustache, and a little goatee. I don't know what he's trying to be here. They rescue this kid because Grasshopper Gray is following them. But Masaru still has the death whistle, and he uses it and freezes him. And then calls Saburo, who turns into Hokkaido, and they have a brief discussion. And Hokkaido is openly contemptuous of Professor Gill. This will come back to haunt him. And then the mass lunacy plan, where they're just going to broadcast a whole bunch of random noise over from there and drive everyone crazy. They didn't even know what cable news would look like yet. And I think Gil's a little worried here. But so Masaru can't figure, he's got conflicting emotions here. Fortunately, he really didn't kill his dad, so. And there he shows up, another great shot. And that's when the fight starts. These stuntmen are amazing, even while they're wearing their sneakers or trainers, if you will. But the switch on occurs, and there's a reason for this. So he injures Grasshopper Gray, but Masaru uses the death whistle and freezes him. And then nothing happens really because the brain thing happens. And so this little boy is quite the artist there, but right there, this thing right here, that's the dark tower to drive everyone crazy. And it's going to squash Beetle Green, but he doesn't because Jiro plants explosives and blows everything up. I mean, it's a very interesting episode in that it's right now. I mean, like I said, these last 8 episodes do not happen the way the middle 20 do. There, Grasshopper Gray can use his sonic powers to stop the engine, and now we have Jiro tells Masaru he doesn't want to go on living without his trust, so he can call him and be destroyed. These two do. There's Saburo. Now, people think Saburo is a man of honor or a robot of honor because of this, but he's still a villain. Hokkaido is a villain because he's out to destroy Kikaida. That's his one mission in life. Keep that in mind. So he lets Jiro fight with Grasshopper Gray while he watches up here on there. Another great shot. And then uh, Kikaida thinks he's safe because he's in the form, but unfortunately, because of the 3,000 times, which why didn't he do this, like 20 episodes ago? But, weekly television, right? It's still very engaging. And now it's worked. Kikaida is now a dark warrior and he goes to fight Hakkaida. So Gil is telling Kikaida to destroy Hakkaida. Go figure. So they have a nice fight here, but he doesn't even know he can't fight him because of Komioji's brain being in there. So, and unfortunately, Mitsuko is really smart. She is an unsung hero. And she bumps him off, but uses an old mine cart, and that stops the sound. And Jiro or Kikaida regains his semblance, and Hakkaida is threatening to shoot him, but then the brain thing happens yet again. Off he. So the final battle between Grasshopper Gray and Kikaida happens, and of course we know what's going to happen. He uses Denji End. Grasshopper Gray blows up the tower, so his plan is foiled at the same time. What a coincidence! But we do have to have this happen. Kikaida gives Masaru the flute again. He throws it down and forgives Jiro. Well, Jiro. And they're a family, so to speak, but Jiro zooms off and just leaves him because, he's probably pretty hurt despite being a robot. And now, episode 41. Grand battle. Jiro's blown apart in midair. Oh no! So some construction workers find a whole extra road behind a fake or a hill that's not supposed to be there, and it's a frog. Well, it's really a toad, but there you go, Agent Frog. You've finally got a toad monster / frog monster here for you. There's your shout out. You haven't had one for quite a while, and it's red. I don't know if that means anything, but he uses his black ball bombs. They're very explosive. But this is not my favorite suit, but really, urgent mission. So Gil now wants him to kill both of them. And Hanpen shows up with Beetle Green, and they've got a missile drops this to show where Komioji is. And Mitsuko and Masaru want to go, but Jiro says, no, it's trap. He agrees with Hanpen. I love that they call him Hanpen. Sabaru shows up and says Jiro will never get there. Off they go. They're flying through the air. But unfortunately, he might have shaken Hakkaida off, but there is Red Mine Toad. I don't understand. Mine Red? I don't know. But they're fighting. He actually throws him down there. There's the stylish car that the Dark have that have captured the rest of the Komioji family. And there's a matte scene right here. This brown, this light brown as opposed to the dark brown. The tan dirt is the matte part. And here we have a very familiar, if you've watched Johnny Sacco, setting. But this must lead to the dark base. He just pulls it apart because he's super strong, even in human form. So they've got him captured, and Jiro fights him, but there it is. Now this is Hanpen's doing the whole go inside, appear. It's cute, and it's a nice touch of levity. But that is from the final episode. Well, we've seen it in the final episode of Johnny Sacco. If you've watched my Voyage into Space episode, I'll link that at the end there. But it is there, and we will be reviewing Johnny Sacco because it's a great series. And there's their dad. They're finally reunited, but he's got no brain. And Masaru finds a way out, but now we have another fight. Hanpen! And he tries that, but apparently fire can stop the whistle. And the battle is on there, but unfortunately, as soon as he comes into contact with Red Mine Toad, he blows apart. There he is, and there's pieces everywhere. So there's that. We're now into the penultimate episode 41, 42, 40, 41, 42. And Hakaido has now got a problem, right? So he's gone, literally gone to pieces. The subtitles, the guys who did the subtitles had some fun here. So look at him carrying all the parts around. Now, if this doesn't remind you of The Empire Strikes Back, where Chewie is carting about a blown apart C-3PO, well, this came first by 7 years. So keep that in mind. So grab the parts and kill him. I don't even know why I have that there, but now Hakaido, Saburo is he is vexed. And so now they're just going to fight him. So they attach, don't be shocked by what you see. He blasts Red Mind Toad. Kaboom! It's over and now he has nothing. He doesn't know what his destiny is because all he has is to kill and destroy Kikaida. And he's having an existential crisis, if you will. Not the existential blues, the existential blues. Ba 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 bang dang dang. Thank you, Tom T Bone Stankus and Dr. Demento. But there it is. And X Sonic, if you're watching this far, you'll know what I'm saying. So he wants to go kill Gil, who of course lies to his face because he's trying to kill him. And then he says, "Your creator is Dr. Komyoji," and then because they'll both die, right? Gil has gone bye bye. You got anything left, Jiro? Yeah, but Mitsuko does because she's really smart. They can open up his brain or attach his vocal cords to have him help protect him. So, well, meanwhile, Hokkaido's trying to batter his way in, and they're fixing him up, and he's going to kill Komyoji. But Jiro's or Kikaida's able enough to at least challenge him, but he says, "Relax." So he does kind of, sort of, but he belays that momentarily. So they're going to fight in human form, and these two are going to be operating Rome. It's a nice little fight, but Hokkaido, being a villain, says he's had enough of this. You can't change because his transformation circuitry is out, so he's going to kill him that way. What do you think he told you to wait him for, Mitsuko? She sometimes does not use her brains properly. Uh-oh, we have the last Destructoid warrior, but in shadows. And he kills Hokkaido. Right there. Just right there. Boom! I mean, he does sneak up on him, which is no way to kill a valiant villain, even if he's a villain. He warns Jiro, and they take him in to get his brain. And I like that they have the schematic. The full-on schematic of a brain transplant operation. Of course, Masaru is the one who finds it, but makes no sense to Hanpen. At least he's honest. So Mitsuko has to. Before they can do anything, white bone flying squirrel. That is a mouthful. Shows up. That's who killed Hokkaido. And then we have the final episode. It's such a great series. I'll talk about it a little, why it's such a great series in a little bit. As a wrap up, Jiro can't change into Kikaida. How can he fight him off? And Mitsuko, he tells Mitsuko it's up to her, and she's all worried that she can't fix Jiro. And he's just fine. And finally, Masaru slaps his sister into sense, and she does the brain operation. So Gil's looking for him. Jiro's racing around, and flying, squirrel destructoid. Squirrel. Sorry, Doug. This is one of the few squirrels I don't like. But obviously, he's running. We think that the family's running away, but unfortunately, it's Hanpen tricking them. Our last mention of Iga Ninja Art of Substitution. But the operation's a success, and despite Komyo, he wouldn't have lost too much muscle mass. It's only been a couple days, really. Gil shows up. Hanpen does the old playing the guitar and tricking him into thinking it's Hokkaido or Kikaida, because Hokkaido's dead. Simply dead. And they're running away, and Jiro can't transform, fortunately, and Mitsuko takes the blame, and it is pretty much her fault. But Dr. Komyoji just fixes him. Boom. And Beetle Green tricks the squirrel, and now they've caught them, but they're going to execute them. Now, if we were to go right into the sequel, Kikaida 01, this is where it would start, except that we would get the Hakkaida gang showing up. We're not going to do that because we've got some other things to do this year. And we will get into 01 because I love the show. I mean, I think it's great. I love 01's costume. It's not as good as this one, but that's okay. But they're going to kill him, and Komyoji says, just kill us. But look who shows up. Your time is going to come. I don't know why I kept that one. He frees the Komyojis and changes. He also destroys the whistle. So that's done. Period. There's no whistle in this episode at all. In the last couple ones. See what I said about it being thrown on its head? They fight. He tries. I just like that. I mean, uses Denji and blows him up. For someone who beat Hakkaida so easily, White Bone Squirrel is just killed. But we do have to wrap things up. It seems like I remember Augie saying that the show was wrapped up a little earlier than they wanted it to, so they kind of had to condense the last episodes. If they'd have had maybe 9 more, to 52, 9 more episodes to do, they might have slowed things down. But Gil here has booby trapped the whole place. It blows up with all the drones, male and female. Why would they even give the drones a sex? He's dead. Or is he? Dun, dun, dun. Well, we'll find out in 3 years, which you can't see me do the air quotes, because it'd be the week after this when 01 debuts. There's a nice explosion with the mat. And now everything, we get the wrap up. So the inspector apologizes to Jiro. He says he'd have done the same thing. And they're going to Switzerland. I thought they were going to the United States, but they're going to Switzerland. And this is where Mitsuko wants to go. And, of course, Hanpen is hassling her. Now, Hanpen's not going with him. It's just the Komyojis and Jiro. But he goes and talks to him. And there's Jiro saying, I'm not going. I can't go with you all. She needs a human man, I guess. We do never see Mitsuko again. We do see Komyoji in the sequel. And I'm hoping that everyone will have forgotten about this by then. But he still doesn't want the complete conscience circuit because he doesn't want to be a robot. He wants to be human, really. So Komyoji's going to smooth things over with Mitsuko and Masaru. And off he goes. Yeah, they hear him, but there's Tokyo International Airport. Look at all those colors. Man, colors today are just boring colors. The Komyoji clan Jets Airliner, and they go off. And then that's where we hear this song again playing as Jiro looks after it. And I think he did love Mitsuko, but I mean, what could he offer her? He'd never grow old. I mean, he could look like it. I guess you could watch Bicentennial Man. But there is Jiro. I don't know how they got her on the plane. She had to realize that he wasn't going with her. And we never see Mitsuko again. We do see Komyoji again. But there he goes to find his own path. And that is the finale. It's bittersweet. I mean, evil gets triumphed over. The dark is defeated, at least for 3 years. But Mitsuko is metaphorically left at the altar, not metamorphically. But tomorrow, I love this series. It just hooks you in no matter what. I think even modern audiences should love it, but I could be wrong because they won't watch things like that. What do I know? Anyway, you can get the Blu-ray. It's wonderful. Generation Kikaida DVDs are all out of print now, so they cost a lot. Anyway, tomorrow we will be talking about a musical, which is, of course, The Phantom of the Paradise, which this is the second time I've watched it, and I have thoughts. It's very interesting. All right, my fellow agents, until our next assignment, this is X7, signing off and phasing out. And we're going to, after we phased out, We're going to let the song play a little more.
Look around you, Winslow. You've destroyed your face, your voice. Now you're trying to destroy the paradise. Haven't we all had enough? I can give you the power to create again. I can make you somebody. How's that? Try it.
Phoenix.
Try it again.
Phoenix.
And again.
Phoenix.
Well, at least you can talk with this. You can plug yourself into the console for singing. And now we're in business. Together. Forever. Gentlemen, I give you the future. Be.
Life at last. Salutations from the other side. I can see that you're the devil's pride. What was that?
What was what? There really is the Phantom.
We've left your legions to this wastefulness, charming madness. With a voice that's both sides choice, he'll bring us to our knees. After you try me up, only you might satisfy me up.
I'll do anything you want. I owe you everything. Just give me that crowd again.
Tomorrow night. Tomorrow night they'll be yours. And all I want is your voice.
Is that all?
No.